This is Bible Meets Business, and I want to welcome you for our panel discussion. My name is Keith. I'll be co-moderating this panel discussion with Faith, all the way from Kenya. All right, are we good to go? So our very first question is for Mr. Benny Hinn, and it is around value systems. Someone is asking that you've talked about the very many great people you've met in your life. You interact with members of parliament, you've met the president's daughter, Charlene Ruto, and quite a number of people that are inspirational. Is it a question of favor, or are there value systems that one has to be deliberate about to make in order to not only attract this network, but also to keep the network?
All right, trillionaires, can we please have a moment of silence so that we can answer the questions? Thank you.
Listen, that's a good question. Let's appreciate the person for asking. Now, there's a part where the spirituality aspect contributes in terms of favor and all that. But for favor to come, it must find some systems that have already been created. For example, Joseph had favor in the Bible, right? But that favor needed a product that it could partner with. I always compare these two stories of Mephibosheth and David. Both Mephibosheth and David got an opportunity to stand in the presence of kings, right? And all of them, they actually have 10 similarities. I want you to go and study them. But both David and Mephibosheth stood at the age of 16 in the presence of a king. But you can see a difference between these two, because David was able to articulate his value easily, and Mephibosheth instead acted timidly. He said, a dog is better than me. Who am I to even sit in this table of a king? But look at how David expresses himself. That confidence came from the aspect that David knew that he had value. The same thing also to Joseph. Joseph had 3 opportunities to interpret dreams. The first time, he spoke before his family and the family got angry. The second time in prison, he interpreted a dream, but these men never rewarded him. But the third time, he spoke and Pharaoh was able to reward him. What's the difference between the first, second, and third time? The third time, Joseph had interpreted his value properly. This thing I'm doing today, 5 years ago, I was called by a certain company to do public speaking, and they asked me, how much should we pay you? And I told them, I don't know. So they gave me 2,000 shillings, Kenya shillings, and they had a budget of 200,000 shillings. Because at that time, I had not yet defined my value, and their products I had not built. So 3 things that someone needs in terms of value systems. I always say that before you build networks, be a network yourself. Who has understood that? Like, before you approach anyone of value, be valuable, you as a person, right? If I'm able to benefit from the relationships that Brian will give me, as Benny, I should be a system by myself. Someone say be a system.
Be a system.
Now, how do you become a system? One, you must have a product. The Knight Frank report for 2024 says that there are 4 levels of wealth every human being should have built for them to be relevant globally. You should have wealth around creative thinking, critical thinking, intentional networking, and there's a third one. You should have wealth around, so it's critical thinking. There's a third one, I'll remember it. Critical thinking, either consultancy or to some degree you've either written a book. Creative thinking, that either in terms of movies or something that is within the creative field. Intentional networking, that you have so many valuable relationships, and there are 5 levels of relationships you need. You need relationships in military and the security forces. You need relationships in entertainment and music. You need relationships in the world of media. You need relationships in the world of immigrations. You need also relationships. These are called the 5 entries. And also you need relationships in the business world. And also even religious circles, you need relationships. Because at the same time, there's an access also the religious guys can give you. So, one, you must have a product that you've built. Either in the realm of critical thinking, creative thinking. Have something that can introduce you to greatness. Like David had a sling. Daniel had the ability to be able to advise 6 people. You must have something. Even God asked the widow of Zarephath. She had oil and she had flour that could be multiplied. So don't just be an employee. Even for the people who work with me at the office, Faith here, right now what Faith is doing, we came with her to Uganda, but she's moderating. When we left Kenya, we did not agree she would moderate. But one day she moderated an event and I told her, from today people will pay you more money than what I pay you as a moderator. And Faith, she's paid 50,000 to moderate. Are you getting it? So I always tell people Kenyan shillings, just to make things clear. That's 1.5 million for her to moderate an event for 2 hours. Now, if she'll do like 10 events in a month, it's not the same as the salary I pay her. And I told her, if you're waiting for your 8 to 5 job to make you a billionaire, it's a lie. Because you cannot work 8 to 5 for 40 years, Keith, and expect to be a billionaire. So that conversation must change. Because you must tell each other the truth. Even Mr. Brian told the employees that you must think beyond salary. You must see me beyond salary. Salary is like your fee for practicing and building capacity. Salary is not meant to sustain you. So build a product. If you lack a product that introduces you, then, like you see, Amanda is an interior designer. That product is a point of conversation. She'll say, I have a company that does interior design. That conversation will start from there. So build a product. Someone say build a product. Build a product. And I always tell people 4 simple ideas. Either write a book, either have a company, or number 2, either build a software. Like you see, Brian has written a book. Brian has a software, Propertio. And he has also a platform, Bible Meets Business. All of you go to Fanero, but not all of you have access to Apostle. How did he meet Apostle? Bible Meets Business. It gives him proximity, because that's a platform. So either build a platform for conversations, or number 4, have extra relationships that are rare. So that's how to build a value system. Then number 2, expand your nets. In the Bible, Jesus told disciples, go back and fish. But the Bible says that the disciples says that the nets are torn. Why were the nets torn? Because in the Jewish culture, there were 2 nets. There was a commercial net and there was a domestic net. The domestic net could hold 70 up to 100 fish. The commercial nets could hold up to 1,000 fish. They went to the domestic nets instead of the commercial net. And in life, sometimes your nets can be too limited. That men want to bless you, but my question is, what do you have that can make people give you 50 billion? One day I went and was having a conversation with a CEO, Daktari, and this CEO asked me, how much do you need in terms of support? And I told this guy I need 2 million Kenya shillings. And he told me, I cannot help you, not because that money is too much, but because that money is too little for my support to come in. Are you getting? Bigger problems attract bigger opportunities. Make your problems big. So expand your nets that whatever you're doing in Uganda can actually attract attention. I had one phone call in Kenya. Brian called Dr. David Molapo, right? From South Africa. And he said, I'm here with Ben Hinn. Just say hi to him. Now, anytime a great person tells you, just say hi, don't just say hi. Don't be foolish. They're telling you, introduce yourself. Don't say, I just want to say hi. Don't be timid. They're not saying you say hi. Because if it is hi, you could have just waved. So Dr. David asked, so what do you do, young man? And I told him, I have a speak academy, and we are preparing 30,000 young people who are running for elections in 2027 on public speaking. He said, come to South Africa. I want to meet you next week. I'll give you a whole day. Explain that idea to me. When you are a national solution, you attract national stakeholders. Yes. So expand your net. Begin solving bigger problems. So if you're still paying rent and fixing small issues, no one is attracted to that. Expand your nets. Then the third thing, do your homework. Know who is in the room. One meeting should lead to 5 meetings. Because one meeting is never enough to close a deal. And one thing that Brian says is that book a meeting from a meeting. Never come out of a meeting when you don't know when is the next meeting. Then one meeting should create enough attention for 5 meetings. Yeah.
A round of applause.
Amazing. Thank you very much for that. So I have a question for both of you. It's a very intriguing question that you will help us in terms of understanding. So there's a concept that you mentioned in terms of timing, that Nicodemus met Jesus at night. There are business deals that you close very early in the morning, and there are others that you close very late in the evening. And with the experience that Mr. Brian here also has, he has been able to build different businesses across the globe, and they span with a very big influence. So how are you able to time conversations? How are you able to time the opportunities that were coming your way? What did you see, for example, in the States that helped you culture the concept of concept real estate? How did you manage to build Bible meets business? What is the opportunity that you saw, and how quick were you to leap on that opportunity?
Thank you so much. I'll start it with this. I don't know if you have that video which I wanted to share with the people. Do you have it ready? As I speak, I want to share to you this. When you meet an opportunity, do not procrastinate. I tell that in the simplest way, and people don't understand it. Do not procrastinate when the opportunity is. You're in front of an opportunity, and you're thinking about, okay, now I'm going for lunch. And you clocked out already, but the opportunity is in front of you. It's true when he said, do you know who are the people in the room? Because if I invite here someone to tell me, when you got into the room, did you read the room? Who is the 5 people you're going to have an interaction with before you leave the room? And how quick is that interaction going to be so that you are able to meet the other 4? Because you start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How are you timing conversations? I was saying him that we need to do a class to teach people how to time conversations. Because some of you start a conversation with someone and you prolong it for 1 hour. And even by the time you finish the conversation in 1 hour, people are no longer interested in continuing with that conversation. Because you have not mastered the trigger points of the conversation. How you begin it, how you build upon it, how you conclude it, how you master it. That's how I say, when you enter into a meeting, time it, book a meeting from a meeting. Because at this meeting is a meeting of introduction. It's not a meeting of conversation. And that's why it was important. How do you introduce yourself? I was with him. We did 4 meetings in one day. Different distances, 4. But with intentional. And each meeting was contributing to something. When you ask him, when he got to Uganda, how was it planned? There was a team behind him coming to Uganda. So many of you are selfish. You just want to win by yourself. That's why you don't achieve the things you have to achieve in life. You go to places and you just want to go alone. Introduce people to places. Because everyone has an important aspect in your life. As spiritual father, Apostle Grace last time was teaching us about inner circle. So who are those in your inner circle, the 3 people, the 12, who make these things happen? That's my message to you.
Okay. I think he said so many things. Let's appreciate him. He's covered it. I'll insist on what he said about speed. Be fast. Like in Kenya, I tell my whole team, you cannot work with me if you don't buy postpaid airtime. Because you can't be making a serious phone call and then your call hangs up because of airtime. It shows that you're not serious with destiny. Because how can you lack airtime yet we are discussing serious ideas? Now here, remember, we are not talking about business of selling things like things that are at 50,000. We are talking about doors. You remember the walls, gates and doors? So you're now talking about doors. There are things that you should have cleared in your life. You cannot network with certain people if you don't have money. Money is not actually meant to settle in your life. The second guy that Brian met is called Pius Mushiri. He's a billionaire in Kenya. He's a solid guy in terms of kingdom. And that guy said, one day he told me, do you want to be a pipe, do you want to be a bottle, or do you want to be a river? In terms of money. Because that guy can have 1 billion in the morning, Kenyan shillings, and then by 10 a.m. he doesn't have it. And he told me, he doesn't want to own money, he wants to influence money. And he told me, money is meant to bring you closer to people who have more money. For example, I can't host Brian if I don't have a car. Can I break it down? Make it very practical. Can we break it down? You guys look like you're angry. It's
Yes,
like I'm
please.
touching a soft spot. Because for me to host Brian in the way I hosted him, I needed to have a car and access to other cars. Are you getting me? So I don't need my own car only. I don't need to have a Mercedes. I need to know people who have Mercedes and they can give me the Mercedes. So I have like 10 people in Kenya who can actually give me high-end cars in case I want to host anyone in the country comfortably. So I need to have a good car. I need to have a guy who can take good drills. So I need an S23 Samsung. And these guys should not worry about their fare. To run that whole ecosystem, when Brian came in the country, there were more than 12 people who were responsible. In terms of booking his hotel, the protocols, ensuring you've carried the bags, ensuring you've organized a master class for him within 24 hours, to gather at least 100 founders in a room within 24 hours. So influence is needed. Now that means I never began networking with Brian on that day. I began networking with him 4 years ago. Who has understood that the work of networking does not begin at that moment? Like right now, you're already building capacity for 5 years to come. I don't know if you're understanding. The Burj Khalifa, the second tallest building in Dubai, was built for 10 years, but it took 8 years to build the foundation and 2 years to build the building. So networking, the effort does not start when you're talking. The effort starts even before you meet the person. And there are things you need. There are things that contribute to networking. Even for me to get access to all these 4 guys, I booked an appointment 24 hours before Brian came in the country. You can't just convince these busy guys to give you time. There's something you must have, like influence. On TikTok, I have like 254,000 followers. But I've worked to get to 54,000 in terms of videography. I've paid videographers. I began changing my video qualities like 1 year ago. I invested in my video quality. All my books are transcribed. I don't write my books by myself because someone told me your books are going to the globe. You're a good speaker, but you're not a good writer. Find someone who can write your book so well, then print the highest quality of paper for them to enter in the globe. Now, when I was spending money at that time, was I sure the money will come back? No, but I did it anyway. Why? Because they say, sell anything for your destiny will buy it back. Sell anything for your destiny will buy it back. Then also there's another quote that says, invest anything in yourself, someone else will pay for it. So in networking, there are 3 things you need, just to conclude these. Number 1, you need the small things of life. Someone say the small things of life.
Small things of life.
Like having a good phone, having a good car. My office is in Westlands, opposite Kempiski, where Brian was sleeping. Deliberately, I've chosen the location of my office because there are conversations you cannot hold in CBD, where there's noise. That's why billionaires make deals in big hotels. They don't come here because they're hungry or there's no food at home. You don't take a girl on a date because she's hungry or she lacks food. There are things that someone can only accept in a certain environment. Be very deliberate where you do your meetings. Those are called the small things of life. Having good shoes, nice socks. You can't tell me you have 4 pairs of socks and you're telling God to give you nations. There's something called the small things of life. Like your suit. They might not be important, but they're important. Small things of life. Have the small things of life. Have a power bank. Because how can your phone switch off when you have a serious meeting? Because you give an excuse that I did not have power. In a serious conversation, have the small things of life. Know how much this hotel is. Today, I want you to go to the presidential suite of this hotel and find out how much is it to host someone. Know the biggest venue in this country. How much is it to pay for it? Why? Because one day you'll host someone and you need to know these details. Go at the airport and just come back. Know these things. Know how much is an air ticket. The second thing you need to have. Build a track record that no one can ignore. Because Brian has said about timing, this whatever spices conversations is a track record. Work on yourself that by the time you're meeting any person who's very key. David told Saul, I have killed the bear, I have killed the lion, I will kill Goliath. The bear is the king of the wood, the lion is the king of the jungle, Goliath was the king of giants. I have a track record of killing kings. Have a heavy track record. Like right now what you're doing in this event. I've just told Faith, we are going to give you certificates, all of you, certified by I Speak Society. It's part of a track record. Because right now you've had conversations around public speaking, personal branding. You've been trained in terms of disruptive leadership and mindset shift. So he can certify you on 4 topics for creating time. Track record is key. Go for events that don't make sense and take a picture and post it on LinkedIn. Some of you are too polite for life. You're too good. You're not so disruptive and it's killing you. Then number 3, handle yourself as a big deal. Don't approach anyone who is great and be like, thank you, sir. Please help me, sir. Never tell anyone support me. Tell someone partner with me. I want to collaborate with you. Learn to use careful terms. Don't say support me, help me, sponsor me. Learn to use words carefully. Ecclesiastes 12 verse 10 says, and Solomon the preacher chose to use acceptable words. Be very deliberate about your choice of words. Don't use words like support, help me, please. Never approach key people like a beggar. Approach them like a collaborator. Yeah.
Wow. Let's give a round of applause for that very engaging question. So there are very many questions here that are rotating around the topic of healing. And the first question says, how do you learn to heal? The first question says, how do you learn to heal? The second question says, how do I heal from my past trauma and not allow the experience affect me? So the subject is around healing. And I would love to start with Mr. Brian. The first question is, how do you learn to heal? How do I heal from my past trauma and not allow the experiences previous affect me? So the conversations around anything that you've gone through in life and that has broken you to the point, almost the point of no return, but you've managed to bounce back because everyone has been through something and, you have to heal at the end of the day. So the discussion around healing, how do you learn to heal?
Thank you so much. At the age 25, God blessed me and I became a millionaire in dollars. But after some years, like 2 years, everything, I lost it. Everything. I lost it. But when I lost it, no one even could identify that I've lost it. But I lost it. Because most of the times, people identify us just physically. They don't identify us inside. Because what is inside of us, people always don't see it. That's why people only identify us of what is happening today, but they don't get a chance to go watch the first video which I did. Because the first video would describe for you the ignition of my identity. So when I lost it, the first thing which built upon my life, it was humility. Understanding that anything which is given to me, I can lose it. Anything. The other thing, understanding, and I'm not beyond any situation of life. Because situations happen to people. And when those situations happen, how do you position yourself? Are you going to go to your bed and start crying and saying, God, why me? Why at this time or point of life? Because in this room, most of us, the survey has been done. 90% of Ugandans live by debt. Not so? Do you agree with me? But we never accept the challenge of life of being in debt. And we have never accepted how do we overcome that situation of being in debt. Because this is how it starts. You borrow from the bank stops borrowing you. Then now you start going to your friends. Your friends start borrowing you. Then you start losing friends. By the time it becomes red, you don't have friends, you don't have a bank, you don't have another opportunity to begin. And you know, it's a tough conversation to speak in front of people. Because no one would never want to identify themselves like that. Because all the conversation we have here, it's about success. No. I want to tell you, it's not always going to be successful. You're going to see failures in life. But how are you able to come out of those failures? The first thing is you to accept. Accept. I'm in debt. Because that's where most of us, we deny ourselves access to get back to where we have to be. That goes into the point of my brother saying forgiveness. You forgive yourself and say, I accept, I made a mistake, and I need to accept this reality that this is happening. What do you do when this is happening? What do you do when this is happening? Who are the people? Because most of us, even you ask ourselves that how do we even get out of these situations? I learned when I was passing through that process or passing through that situation that I even couldn't introduce myself back to the bank to have a conversation of how I can fix this. I wouldn't even have a conversation with my friends. How can I fix the relationship back? Because now they hate me. They cannot have a conversation with me that why? Why can you not pay me back? Why? That's when I learned one thing. All of us, we need help in life. And we need to know certain conversations, we may not identify ourselves in those conversations. We need to get to those people who can identify us in those conversations. So I met a person, by God's grace. That person sat me down and said, okay, let us have a conversation. Who do you have to pay money back? I gave out my heart to this person. Tell them, this is the situation. Because do you know why even I got a chance to give this conversation to this person? It's because I accepted that I'm in this situation. And that is the hardest thing I will tell you. You imagine you are known to be a multi-millionaire, but now you are no longer one. How do you even want to hear people hear that? Because all of us, when people see you today, you bought a car, and then next time they don't see you with it, you say, no, it's at the garage. But the truth, someone took it. So many of those conversations, we don't want to have them. So when I talked to this person, he was the person. You need to have those people in your inner circle who identify to come through as a solution of voice for you. Because there are moments you're going to get in and you cannot have a voice. And no one can give you the ear to listen to you. To give you that voice of, yes, Brian, talk to me again. No one. You're going to reach in situations and no one can hear you out. And you need to have that person in your inner circle who can hear you out and can speak for you. Most times we teach you that you can speak for yourself, but also as we teach you to speak for yourself, understand who are those 3 people or 4 people in your inner circle who can be a voice for you. One day I'll give you an example about Rebron. Those who know Rebron, he has 4 people who are in his inner circle. You know those guys who follow sports. And you have seen how successful Rebron has been. But if you go deeply, listen to the podcast of these guys, they'll describe to you the history that everything has not been just roses and flowers. Reaches a time when these guys are a voice for Rebron. So when I got this person, he's the one who went for my voice to these places. Talk to each individual. Talk to each bank. And I was able to restructure my situation. Because in most times you don't want to have someone voice for you out. Because most times you're creating relationships which are like getting porridge and you pour in water when you see water is the one which is floating. You need to build relationships. And when you see a person, you can say, if I'll give you an example. When him is here, I have a team. All my staff, I can trust them to be with him. Ask him, most time was I with you? Because in Uganda when he came, I wanted to show him another side of me, that anyone who is around me on my team, I can trust them with him. When you went for the haircut, did I go with you? Because I trust what is going to go in his ear for my team, it is right. I trust where he's going to step with my team, he's going to be addressed right. I trust the person who's going to drive him will not just drive him because I'm not in the car. They will drive him according to what I build in those people, according to how they identify me to the relationship I've created. Most times in life, when failure comes to us, we don't have those people who already built something within us to understand my voice, to understand my heart, to understand my weaknesses. We only build relationships that you have friends when you're celebrating, they show up in many numbers. When you're on your weakest point, you can count one person showed up. You say, hey, where's Alex? Hey, Alex, you know he had an appointment. You get what I'm saying? How do you identify a relationship? For me, from my lawyer, one of my lawyers is called Dimitri. He's a Greek guy. Last year we had those who attended Concept Kickstarter soft launch. I made it intentional for people to learn from this. You're not going to be in my life when you don't have a real genuine relationship. As I said, you don't know my kids, you don't know who are my parents, you don't know. People tell you are my friend, but they meet you in bars, they meet you in hotels. Who is your friend? Can your friend advise you that you know what you're drinking is wrong? Can your friend advise you what you're eating is not right? Can your friend tell you that it's time to rest? Because you can keep on winning, but if you don't rest, also is a wrong thing. When I got my doctor, I didn't want him to just be a doctor who treats me when I'm sick. He's someone who is interested in making sure that I'm okay on a daily. That do I rest enough? How my schedule works? How the people around me contribute to my health? Is in that conversation. It's not just going to show up one day, okay, Brian is sick, now let us work on him. By him being involved on a daily basis, intentionally he knows what to do. It might be just me needing to rest, but you're going to a hospital and they give you injections and injections and injections. If even your doctor cannot show up on your workshop, who is going to show up? So from this question, I want to build upon you the certain key players of people in your life that failure is going to happen. But who are the key players already in? Who are the people who are going to? Because God has already blessed us with the people around us. But are they the right key people? You're going to just have a friend who just knows how to give you jokes. You're just going to have a friend who knows where you go out. You're just going to have a friend who entertains you. But who are the real key people that you spend time with, and when things happen in a different way, they are ready to act right away? Because always they're what? Around you. You are in business, but you don't have a debt manager. Because you're going to borrow. You're going to borrow to invest. But also your debt manager is not just teaching you to borrow. They're teaching you how to be debt free and you stop being a slave to the lender. Do you have those key people in your place? You borrow 500 million shillings, but you have never touched it. You don't have someone around you who has the experience to manage that. You have a lawyer who represents you in court, but he just saw you last week. Did that person know your heart? How can that person introduce you in court? They just say, by case number this and this, we are introducing this case and we think we are not guilty. To what conversation is that coming from? You are doing business, but you don't have an insurance. You are invested in such a nice building, but you don't have an insurance. You need to have a fire insurance. Not only that, you need to have an investment insurance. Because let me tell you, this hotel cannot just be here when they don't have a life insurance investment. Because as you're putting in money here, it has to pay to that. Because look, in 10 years, you're going to reach and sell this hotel, or you're going to reach and get in partners. But already for you, you identify yourself to massively distribute your wealth. It's not only in this hotel. But so I want you to understand those conversations.
Okay, Mr. Brand. Benny, the question was for also you as well. You opened up about that phase when you went into addiction, pornography, masturbation, and all this kind. With the setbacks you got in life because you missed a certain stage, you got, and these are addictions, really. This is something that to some extent you find pleasure in. How do you bounce back, really? Because many are lost in there. Someone tells you, I'm trying my best to come out of masturbation, but I find it pleasurable, number one, but also I feel like it has a stronger hold on me than my will to get out. So how do you heal, number one, but also how do you get out? Because I think you get out, then you heal.
Let's appreciate the amazing response Brian gave. Now, when we're talking about wounds, it's important for us to understand that wounds are different. There's a book I've written on woundedness and in relation to creativity and how wounds affect the economy of Africa in general. And in that book, I've broken down the 5 kinds of wounds. There's a fracture, there is an internal bleeding, there are bruises, then there's a deep cut, and then there are scratches. Those are the 5 kinds of wounds. When someone scratches you, you'll feel the pain, but it might not really bother you as such. When someone bruises you at the same time also, the blood will come out and then stop immediately. When there's a deep cut, it will come consistently. Then for a moment it will dry, but it will leave a constant scar. But when you're bleeding internally, it's even worse. I remember a friend to my mother was bleeding internally for 7 years. And then the man did not know until one day he went to hospital and they told him, there's a blood clot on your brain and we cannot do anything. So the man died. He had an accident, then he hit the roof of a car. And he used to laugh and say, just hit the roof of a car, and then I felt poo, and then I was okay. But it left an internal bleeding, and for 7 years it was bleeding slowly, until the day he went to the hospital and he was told, man, the blood clot has covered your whole brain, because he had a constant headache and he never knew where the migraine is coming from. But worst of it all, you can have a fracture, and the danger of having a fracture is that your leg can look perfect, complete, but actually you have a fracture, because fractures are also internal. Now I want you to break it practically. Some of you have scratches. Scratches, for example, you gave someone money and they have never returned. That's a scratch. So that one, it's there, but you already forgot about it. You got angry on that day and you moved on. The second one is a bruise. You had a friend who never celebrated you on your birthday, but you noticed. Now listen, anything that you can notice, it means that it got to your heart. Let me repeat. Anything that you can notice, it means it got to your heart. Because anything that gets to your heart, it means that it's something that to some degree, it triggered a certain emotion. That's what you noticed. Because there are things you don't notice. Why have you never noticed? Why have you never found people gossiping a child? Because a child sometimes might not be noticed, or a dead man. But if it's a human being is alive, they might notice that. So anything that your heart notices, it means that it actually wounded you. So that one falls under the level of bruises. Then we have the third kind of wounds that are now called deep cuts. Now here we are talking about heartbreaks and heartaches. For example, you're dating someone, then they dumped you. Before you dumped them, they dumped you the first one. To some degree, now that one falls under the level of deep cut. But maybe that person, you had not gone so far with them. You had gone like 1 year. And no one knew, the social media did not know, your family did not know. So that one is a deep cut. You just swallow it slowly and go to church and worship. People are crying as they're saying Adonai. They think you're crying because of an encounter, but you know you're not crying because of an encounter. That one is a deep cut. A deep cut can also be friendship. You had a friend who was a solid friend. You guys had built quite a solid relationship. Then your friend betrays you. That one falls under the level of deep cut. But now there is a fourth level. Fractures. Now fractures, I'm talking about family issues. Things about childhood. rejection, your father leaving you. That one falls under the level of fractures. And fractures can be there for so long. Like on this leg, on my right leg, I believe maybe as I'm saying this, I'm going to heal completely. I've ever fallen with a bicycle 5 years ago, and I did not go to hospital. And this leg twisted very badly that it got swollen. And I never went for a checkup. Now, anytime I walk and I'm having shoes that are a bit high, like when I have Oxfords and they're a bit high, and I'm walking on the staircase, it will always twist again and I'll feel the pain. So to some degree I feel like there might be a fracture here, but I never focused on it. Fractures can be there for so long, things like childhood. But then there's a fifth level of wounds. Now I call them internal bleeding. Now here we are talking about childhood deep issues, wounds that teachers also gave you. I need you to do an assignment for me because I know you have a book. I want you to write sources of wounds. Which wounds do you think you have? Because it's important to know the sources of wounds. For some of you, they came from school. For some of you, they came from family. For some of you, they have come from friends. Like right now, some of you don't have friends at all. You're a lone ranger. You're used to being alone. You have built a system around yourself where people will never get to you. No one knows where you stay. In your house, your room is a bit dark. You have a huge teddy bear that you hug every night. And you have put even a TV in your room so that you don't disturb yourself. You have built an ecosystem around yourself to ensure that you're self-sustainable. You have saved even money for next month so that you'll never borrow anyone. Even right now, you've come with 3 pence so that you don't borrow your neighbor. You've built a system around yourself to ensure that you'll never borrow anyone. And these ones are in the level of internal bleedings, because internal bleedings forms a philosophy. Where do these philosophies come from? Like you see the quotes that people post on Instagram, things like it is okay not to be okay, you don't need people, you just need to be alone, now it is time to care about you. All the quotes about self-love. Where did they come from? Because God never created us for self-love. God created us to give love. But where is that narrative coming from? It's coming from these personal philosophies that in your heart you form a philosophy. Anytime human beings are hurt, they form a philosophy around pain. And philosophies are either inspired by love, they're inspired by pain, they're inspired by fear, they're inspired by the concepts of a nation. That's where philosophies come from. So it's important to audit all these things. So like for me, I sat down and I had to know the sources of wounds. One of the things I had to do, I had to forgive my parents. I thought, Kitamba, before I would tell people, I forgave my father. But now I know I forgave my parents. Because one day I went for my healing classes and this lady asked me, have you ever sat with your mother for 1 hour? And I said no. I realized that I've never gone out with my mother at all. We only talk about school and Jesus. And the lady also asked me, has your mother ever told you you're handsome? Actually, I was joking with my mom 2 weeks ago and telling her, you've never told me I'm handsome. My mother only tells me, no, God, you're a brilliant. General compliments about the mind and religion. But you know, it's important for a man to be told he's handsome at a young age, so that when he meets women, it will not be a big deal. Because that's where the issues of David and Solomon came. How can Solomon marry 1,000 women but only have 2 children out of 1,000 women? Meaning Solomon never married actually for sex. There was a validation he needed from having many women around him because of the mother issue. I know we only talk about the father issue, but also a mother being absent as an effect on a man. Look at David. All his issues about women came from the aspect of also the mother not being present, not properly affirming him. There's a book written by Tim Olson on the legacy of absence. He talks about how nations that are at war because of fatherhood. But nations don't just fight because of fatherhood. Infidelity comes because of mother wounds. Let's say your mother was wounded by your father. It has an effect on how your mother will raise you. Your mother will raise you in a tough way. She will raise you with a strong arm. Remember, women are supposed to be tender and loving, but your mother can raise you with a strong arm because your mother was a single mother. So she had to act like a father. So she had to forget the feminine aspect to become a father. In the process, she loses that aspect of touch. To some degree, there are hard conversations that come in. There's a breaking that can happen to a man. That's why there are men who are nonchalant. One day I told my father, I love you, and he told me, go and read. Because my father, also their father left them for almost like 12 years. They did not know where the man is. My grandmother had to step up. My grandmother was waking up at 4 a.m. to go and sell milk. She walked with my father for more than 40 kilometers to take him to school. There is a part of my grandmother that was skilled, that was supposed to be a mother, because by the time she's walking for 42 kilometers, she can abuse you and she'll not feel anything. So it's important for us to know all these things are critical. we must analyze all these types of wounds. And even for the body of Christ, there is no better time as this for us to have these conversations on wounds, bitterness, and pain. Because it's even in church. Look at ushers in church, the way they are angry. Look at the timidity that is in church spaces. Where is this timidity coming from? Wounds, mother wounds, father wounds. There is also wounds caused by siblings, sibling rivalry. Some of you are compared to your brothers and sisters. Still today, you are still compared. And even you compare your own children with the children of your sister and your brother in terms of parenting. Where did it come from? Sibling rivalry. And check through the Bible. David had to prove himself to the fathers. Joseph had to prove himself. Jacob had to prove himself. I always use the story of Jacob and Esau. It's very interesting. Esau was being affected by something called the curse of the gifted. Because the Bible says that Esau was a talented. Jacob did not have any talent at that time. He had not discovered it. But Esau was so gifted. But look at this. Because Esau was so gifted, I always ask myself, how is it that Esau took so long that Jacob planned how to lie? They cooked meat. It boiled. The father ate until he blessed him. For all that time, where was Esau? But because of pain, pain can also cause something called the curse of the gifted. Because when you are wounded and then you are blessed, you relax. Who has understood? When a wounded person buys a car, that's their ultimate, because they have disapproved whoever was behind them. And in Africa, we measure success by the number of failures we leave behind. Because anytime you are wounded, you'll always compare yourself. Comparison. Someone said nothing is too bad until it is compared. Nothing is too small until it is compared. Comparison comes from woundedness. Anytime you find yourself comparing anyone with anything or yourself with anything, it's because you're wounded. And the danger is that you'll never live to your ultimate best, the perfect will of God. Because when you're wounded, you'll compare yourself with your ex. You'll compare yourself with the girlfriend of your ex. Who is more beautiful? Who is more successful? So you'll never be intelligent according to the standard you're supposed to be intelligent. You'll only be intelligent according to the standard of the girlfriend of your ex. That's the danger of being wounded. Even in terms of your business, you'll build your business according to the standard of your family because you're competing with your brother. That's a danger. So the devil has used woundedness, and the danger is that you can speak in tongues loudly but you're wounded, because wounds have a way of hiding themselves also in spirituality and fervency. They have an ability of hiding themselves. Because I used to preach so loudly and the whole school is giving their lives to Christ. 2,000 kids are saying, we want your Jesus. And I leave and then I get into my room and I am so empty. And a presence comes in my room and sexual urges come. You have preached about sexual purity and you fall back into sex on Monday. And I could go to men of God, they will touch my head. I have been prayed for by all the graces you can ever think in Africa currently that people are listening to. Nigeria, all those people. I went for Rema Feast looking for all men. Michael Oropo one day touched me. I said, you'll be a beacon of inspiration in Kenya. And I woke up and I said, I've conquered this thing, sexual immorality. And I used to think the problem is sex, but God told me the problem is not sex. The problem is that you're wounded. So sex is just a door that the devil is using. For some of you, it might not be sex. For some of you, the devil might be using the door of separating yourself from people. You fear people because you've been wounded before. So you don't like anything to do with people. Like right now, you're prepared to run away from this meeting. Immediately it is over. Why do people run away from church, Amanda? When the church service, even before it ends, apostle is leading people to Christ. People are already standing. Why? Because of social anxiety. Because you fear people. You fear people. Let's call it as it is. Because some of you have been wounded too much that you fear when people love you too much. When people are posting you and gifting you, you fear. Some of you fear love. You fear good people. We are used to bad people. One day I took a girl on a date. I did not even want anything from her. She began asking me, what do you want? What do you want from me? Just tell me what you want to finish it right now. Just tell me. Because some of you are used to being hurt that you don't love good people. Even in Africa, we don't love good leaders. Because we are used to being stolen. We are used to being hurt. You can be used to being hurt so much that you love it, that you fear good people. That when good people come, you run away because you fear you lose them. All these things must be faced. Because you'll treat your employees like that. You'll treat your business partners like that. Some of you have never gotten into any business partnership because of trust issues. Because when you have trust issues, how will you trust someone with 2 billion, your money, and you sleep? You'll not sleep. You'll be waking up every time. You tell them, send me your passport. I don't trust you. Send me your ID. I want to see your ID. Where do you stay? I want to know where you stay. And how can you fix healing? Not just therapy. I knew the kind of therapy I needed was not the therapy of sitting down and being asked, are you okay? Can you cry a bit? To some degree, I needed a prophetic therapist. And that's why some of you need to rise as prophetic psychologists. Because my therapist, we sat down with her, we were able to trace back 60 years ago in my family lineage what could have happened. I even called my father. I called some of the people who had hurt me in my family and apologized to them. Yet they were on the wrong. But God told me, ask them for forgiveness because you are peddling forgiveness on my behalf. It was an intense journey. Even till today, the instructions that God gives me, like when this event ends, I may not interact so much with people. Because anytime virtue leaves, God told me, you have not yet built capacity to run consistently. So anytime virtue leaves you, you must also take time back again and retreat, go back into meditation. Faith is the one who does my diary in Kenya. She must make sure that one day in a week I must meditate for at least 6 hours. Because it was an instruction. Because one of the ways you heal is by meditation. Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but by the renewal of your mind, be transformed. Renewal of your mind is meditation. Don't just pray, meditate. Because meditation deletes some files and implants new files. I went and wrote, because in the Bible there are 1098 scriptures on healing. Go and get them. Get a document. I put a sticky note of scriptures in the shower, a sticky note of scriptures in the car. Every day I could meditate and make sure that in my system I have 8 scriptures in me. Psalm 36 verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. All things work together for good. And I will declare them in the night. I will declare them. Then there are also activities you need to do alongside healing, like sitting with children. Anyone who has not healed is uncomfortable around children. Then you have to reduce meeting people so oftenly. Because I used to hide behind being busy. I used to be so busy, I could even sleep for 3 hours. And then you go somewhere and tell people, I sleep 3 hours a day. Yesterday I did 12 meetings. And it seems like you're great. But in real sense, I was hiding behind being busy. Because I never wanted to face myself. And when God told me for 6 months, don't do anything, it was the hardest time in my life. Because I was used to being busy. I was looking at my suits and I'm like, these suits need something, need a job. Even the suits are asking themselves, where did the owner go? One of the ways to heal is by pausing everything you're doing and then clear everything that gives you validation. God told me, don't call Julian Kula, don't call Pastor T. All the men who are giving me affirmation in my life, they disappeared. I could call them, they were not picking calls. And God told me, I want to give me you. I want to give myself to you. My girlfriend went to France for 6 months. My best friend, his name was Henry, disappeared for 7 months and switched off his phone. One of my closest friends, up to today, his phone is still off. I don't know where he went. I was staying with 16 people in my house as a way of also avoiding pain. I was staying with many people. I always walked with people in my life. Everywhere. I was never alone. And it seemed like leadership, but to some degree, you can be addicted to people. Do you know addictions are not just about sex and phones? Some of you are addicted to people. You never go to any event alone. Even today, you begged your friend to come with you. You can never walk alone. You can be addicted to people. God told me, conquer the addictions of people and now find me. It's a whole conversation. One day you can have a whole conference on healing. We just sit down for 6 hours, put your phones away. Like some of you cannot stay for 20 minutes without touching your phone. Try that today. Just put your phone away for 20 minutes. One day we just sit for 6 hours, Brian. Healing for entrepreneurship.
Amazing.
Yes.
Well, a round of applause. Faith.
Yes.
Benny, the last question may be about the topic of healing. In all you've shared, the types of wounds, the scars, is it safe to say that you're now healed completely?
Hey boss, healing is not a journey, it's a destination. It's not a destination, sorry, it's a journey. Because every day you realize something. Like for example, we can sit here with Brian, right? And then all of you ask Brian questions. And then I'm not asked. And then I realize I'm angry. And I realize, oh, it's insecurity. Or you come in a meeting and you're not properly acknowledged. it's a work, but I can say I am not where I was. Like right now, there are things I've conquered completely, like sexual addiction. It's not something that is disturbing me. But there are small things I notice. Like for example, an employee wakes up in the morning and tells you, now I'm leaving. And as the boss, you begin to feel bad. It means you're struggling with attachment issues. You're attached to your employees. Some of you are attached to your employees because you don't have many friends. So your personal assistant is like your best friend and your sister. The day they leave, you get angry. Some of you don't know how to make friends. All your best friends come from your workplace. You must know how to define friendship. I always tell people your best friend can't come from the same place that you're working. It means that you're lacking balance in terms of friendship, because your friendships will always come outside circles of confines that you're in. Your best friends, all of them cannot be in Fanero from church. What if one day you transition? What will happen? They'll now be your enemies. There must be wisdom in terms of friendship. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So to some degree, I can say that it's a whole destination. It's a whole journey that you go through, and you keep growing in phases. Matter. And then raise a covenant of love. How do you raise a covenant of love? By having joy, declaring love. I notice in my company people are sad. People are focused, but they are sad. People don't laugh, so I brought games. There are also structures you build. So I brought games. We joke, we eat deliberately. There are structures I had to put. There are days you all slide on the floor. We just say today we are sliding, and we put soap on the tiles and we run as we slide. You come there and you are wondering, is this the same man who was training people on greatness? Yes, it is the same man. But that man has learned how to handle that in every man there is a boy, there is a man, and there is a warrior, and there must be balance.
Ask your neighbor which cleaning they have been doing lately. Huh? Which cleaning have you done? And which one have you not done? Which cleaning have you done, Keith?
I think I need to do a vacuum cleaning.
You and I both.
I need
we
to
need
take
to go
out
for
the
the vacuum
seats
session. Eh?
after here.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Mr. Benny, for that. It was really an introspective session as well. We have so many questions that if we continue like this, we might sleep here. But I see like you don't mind. Cynthia, you do mind? Aha. I'm sorry, we are learning Swahili as well. Cynthia? Okay, Cynthia means is that... Oh, wamesema iko sawa. So you're in agreement. Amazing. Anyway, but we're going to wrap this up with summarizing some of the questions, and I will give it as pointers. We understand that both of you are early starters. Yes? He made his first $1 million in 25. You wrote your first book at 19. So the biggest question here is, how do you start? But not just how do you start. How do you connect purpose to business? How do you start and how do you connect purpose to business? But more than just connecting purpose to business, how do you disrupt? Because you have made it a very clear picture for us of how the impact in the UK is great, how the impact in Uganda is also great, how Bible Meets Business is also going global, how you have interacted with the young people in Kenya. So we need to get those concepts. How do you start? How do you connect purpose to business? And the third one is, how did you disrupt? So how can someone in this room disrupt from their business concepts?
Thank you so much. With humility, I would say, don't get too familiar with this. Most of us, when you speak on stages, we get too familiar with it. Whatever I say on this stage, it might change someone's life or it might kill someone's life somewhere. So it is with great pleasure when I sit here and speak to you that I don't take this for granted. And I don't get too familiar with it. Every day I leave hunger inside me to do it better and greater. Yesterday I had a conversation with him when we were visiting one of the properties we are building. And the conversation was in regards to putting together what you said. Purpose versus prestige. When I was teaching one of the first master classes, I was teaching about that. Purpose versus prestige. He asked me, why is this house not like a mansion? And I told him, how many rooms do you think someone like me will need in the house? Like if you're counting bedrooms, maximum should be like 4. Okay, one of my bedrooms, one bedroom for the girl, one bedroom for the boys, one bedroom for the guests or my parents when they come. For what? Rooms. I'm building for purpose. I'm not building for prestige. For prestige, I build 6 rooms or bedrooms. And always the 2 are what? Empty. That is misusing resources. And there is no purpose for us, reason for us to misuse what? Resources. So, for you to achieve what? But you are just serving them as just servants. How have you ever made the servants to be kings? Because you cannot be a king of an empire if you don't have kings serving you. Because they will just serve you as servants in the servant mentality. Because they know you just have to serve, they cannot be in position of power and influence. That goes back when I left Ben with Keith. I know he is going to serve. He's a king already. He's not just a servant. I've given him the tools to take him to places that he lives as a king. I don't just enter places, oh, stay behind. No. I enter with you in the places and I show you how even to acquire those places. So when I was showing my brother to be successful in real estate, I was showing him, don't just build just because you're building for prestige. Build for purpose. Because if I spend most of the money which I've acquired in building a bigger mansion, how am I going to get the resources to build the arcade I want to build? Because most of us, they teach us that, okay, when you get money, you build your home, you need to have a home. What is the home translating to you? Is the home giving you income every day? You're just putting in it every day. Some people ask people, why don't you have a house? I see you tell us you have buildings. Because they're not looking at the purpose of the house. Because a house will just be a prestige signature that I have a house there. But the guy has an arcade which cash flows every day, and you see a guy is the one who is supporting kids to go to school. He's the one who gives big in ministry. He's the one who does bigger crusades. But for you, you have a house but you cannot support a crusade. But you say, I have a biggest house in Muyenga. To do what? To sleep with your children? After a year we see, oh, the house was taken by the bank. Because you build for prestige, to show what you can have amassed. But if you build with purpose, you're going to build something which gives you more resources, something which gives you more life. So when you're working with anyone in life, I want you to put 3 things. Is this person dealing with me with prestige, or they are dealing with me with purpose and value? So that you understand what is purpose versus what? Prestige. So that you get to understand that you are in this person's life as the way the Queen of Sheba visited King Solomon and saw that you are the king. Someone should not just see you as just someone they can just use for that moment. They should see you as value in their life. These are the things people look at when they value in their lives. Are they just going to see you as someone who is a common person? Or they are going to see you as someone they can stand next to? Or someone they can interact with the conversation? When I was giving the conversation, when I got into those problems, the one thing which I didn't have the knowledge to keep what God had blessed me. Most of us here, we're going to be blessed enough, lucky enough, and you start something and it becomes great. But the one thing which you need to learn before even you being lucky and got what you have, God is going to bless you with, understand how to protect it and keep it. Thank you so much.
Wow. Let's appreciate Brian. Come on. I told you people don't like clapping. Appreciate him. I think for me, I'll focus on the question of purpose. We had a vision board session this year when the year started in January. Every year we normally call our community to create vision boards. And so when I called them this year, they expected me to come with scissors, all these manila papers for us to cut things, and then they go home. But we had a session, very introspective session on vision boards and what does it mean to have a vision. And I'm telling you, no one did a vision board. Everyone went home to think about their lives. We talked for 6 hours. And I asked them some questions that I'll also ask you, right? What is the question of purpose? Because when you go in church and ask someone what is your purpose, you know what they tell you? To win souls, glorify Jesus. And we can hide behind that, and it can actually make sense. But now when you ask someone, okay, glorifying Jesus, what does glorifying Jesus mean in your life? For example, Amanda is glorifying Jesus, right? You're right? But what is she doing? Bible branch. What is he doing? Bible meets. Apostle is doing Fanero. There's a reason why Apostle is a good singer, but he has never put a worship experience. There's a reason why Joshua Selman has never thought of writing a book. With all that wisdom, I always ask myself, when are these people waiting to write books? But it's because it's not part of the configuration of their purpose at this time. Now, do you know, even you can try today to put Bible branch. Like yesterday you saw the page. I'll use Amanda and Brian as a template just to explain the concept of purpose. And I'm sure it will change your mindset. Right? Sit upright. Let's have this conversation. Look at this lady called Amanda and Brian. Brian had to first become an entrepreneur. He had to live in Uganda, then go to another country. Why did he go in America? God wanted him to have global exposure. Number one. Because one day God knew there is something called Bible meets business that will not be in one country. So he needs to have global exposure. Number two, he needed to learn dressing. Because there are people he was supposed to approach and he needs to dress up in a certain way. Number three, he needed to know God. And not just knowing God. There is a church he was supposed to go to that was supposed to package him to know God in terms of the language of grace and mandate. And that ministry is supposed to look a certain way to influence his expression in terms of ministry. So Fanero has 657 live stream centers. So he needed to be in a ministry that online possibilities is a possibility, so that he can live stream. Like right now we are being watched in more than 20 countries. So if he was in a church that doesn't have a camera, there's a mindset he would have lacked. So the question of purpose goes back also to your marriage partner. Because if the wife to some degree was measuring success from an angle of buying a car, they would have been content. Now Amanda has something called Bibles and Branch. That account started in January. Right now it has 1,500 followers. I want you to go and check Bibles and Branch on Instagram. There's how even those pictures look like. Look at her hair. Amanda, just stand up. There's a reason her hair looks like that. She dresses like that. She's in heels. If right now she was dressing like a sister in the Lord, a long skirt sweeping the floor, there's a kind of audience she cannot attract. So beauty was important for her purpose. Sophistication is important for her purpose in terms of her hair. There's a reason why her hair is not ordinary. It is the way she is. Why? Because there's an audience she needs to attract, and part of that audience, their language is the hair, their language is the heels, their language is the nails. As I've told you, we don't dress according to how we want, we dress according to assignment. So the question of purpose is not just about glorifying Jesus in general. What does glorifying Jesus mean in your world? Who is your audience? I ask these people, I ask my clients every day after I've trained them public speaking, who is your audience? Who have you been called to talk to? You can't tell me the whole world, because even Jesus never spoke to the whole world. There's a reason why Jesus never preached to Pilate. He had a chance to perform one miracle and the Pilate would have accepted Jesus Christ and not crucified him. But the ability of Jesus holding himself and not telling the Pilate, you actually need to know Jesus, because Jesus knew he has been called. He said, 3 people, I've been called for the broken, I've been called for who else? Those who are captives. He was very specific. And Jesus knew the energy of winning the king is the same energy as winning 5,000 souls. Let me focus on the 5,000 souls. The king will know me later after I have resurrected. So you can't tell me I've been called for the whole world. There is an audience for you. How will you know that audience? Check your background. Which school did you study? Why did you study in the school you studied in? Why were you born in Uganda and not in Morocco Why are you not born in 1984 or in 1922? Why are you not Homo erectus? Why are you Homo sapien? Why were you not born as a Chinese? Probably right now you could have already died from eating scorpions. God knew there is an orientation that you can only survive in Uganda. Are you understanding me? Why did you go to the schools you went to? Why do you dress the way you dress? We must begin to dress intentionally with purpose. We must begin to eat intentionally in places that align to our purpose. We must begin to make friends that align with our purpose. The question of purpose is so deep. But unfortunately, many of us have already lost it and we've hit maybe 50. So you have to deconstruct everything we thought that purpose is. Because in Africa, we define purpose in 4 ways. Either by career. I ask someone what's your purpose, you tell me your purpose is a banker. That's a career. Career is a vessel towards purpose. Or people define purpose, number 2, with religion, glorifying Jesus, to make sure that the whole world will know Jesus. Glorifying Jesus is a mandate of everyone. But there is a vessel in which you're supposed to glorify Jesus. Daniel glorified Jesus, Joseph glorified Jesus. At the same time, Peter also glorified Jesus, Paul glorified Jesus. There is a reason why of all the disciples, Paul was sent to Rome. Because Rome had educated people in terms of civilization. And Paul was a persecutor. He had understood their language. He's a man who had studied philosophy. That's why he was able to speak to Agrippa and Felix. He had that articulation. So we cannot just say purpose is general. Purpose is so specific. Purpose is so detailed. And purpose is also so seasonal. And it is very generational. Those 4 ways. It is very specific. It is very detailed. It is very seasonal. And it is very generational. There is a season that will require you to step up as a worshipper. But God wanted to introduce you as a worshipper first. But it doesn't mean now forever you'll be a worshipper. Some of you started as a worshipper, but you might end as a government advisor. Some of you started as a government advisor. You might end up as an apostle in terms of preaching. You must be able to understand all these things. And you must ask yourself, even where you stay, does it align with your purpose? Geographically. How did you choose your house? How do we choose the schools of our children? We choose schools according to cost. Which school is cheaper? Which school is closer to my house? Did you ask God, who is this child supposed to be? Maybe your child is supposed to be president. They're supposed to study in Harvard School of Leadership. Some of your children are not supposed to study the education system of Uganda. They're supposed to study hacking and coding, artificial intelligence, public speaking, social dining rules. That is why some of you are wasted early. You're supposed to be a model. But right now we have made you an intercessor. You're speaking in tongues while you're supposed to be in Tokyo, wearing good makeup and preaching the gospel with a lot of class and fashion. So the question of purpose must be answered, and we must be truthful to ourselves. Some of you are in the wrong places. Yes, you're successful, but you're not fulfilled. You're not fulfilled. You're struggling. You're pushing. One day I began a company for branding t-shirts because I loved t-shirts and I had influence on TikTok. And I started a company and we began selling t-shirts and we were making 70,000 per week. And I thought that's my purpose. One day God told me, I did not tell you to open this. This one was your own idea. And I gave out all the equipment, worth $500,000. Gave out all the social media handles. I did not even take anything. And God told me, focus on public speaking. This is what I will use to introduce you to the world. Focus on it. And I deconstructed everything. And I chose to focus on it. And we started the school. Right now I've produced kids who are the best in the globe. They were number 6 globally and number 1 in Africa. 4.5. I train kids who are 4.5 how to talk for 30 minutes articulately. A kid who is 5 years old, give them the microphone. They will talk confidently. Now that's my purpose. Not everyone can do that. You try and go talk to your child. Give them one sentence. You'll beat them. You'll even try and you'll even just push them away. It's not easy. But there's an art I have. I will kneel down and look at the eyes of a child and talk to their inner core and transfer greatness and tell them you can do this. I teach grown-ups who are stammerers. In my classes, I have healed stammerers. Because it's an unction for oratory. I deal with autistic children. Children who cannot talk. Children who tremble. I have trained men who are 50 years old. Who are wealthy. But they cannot hold a microphone. They hold it and they tremble. And they tell them, sir, come. I will teach you until you understand this thing. That ability now is my purpose. That's why I went to 7 schools. Why did I go to 7 schools? God understood that I'll talk to kids in different schools. I went to international schools. I went to local schools. I went to a day school. God wanted me to understand language. Why was I called Ben Hinn? Because God understood that there's a lineage of priesthood. And to some degree, I needed to have that aspect early enough. Why am I in Uganda? Because Apostle Grace is a template in terms of the apostolic. There is something he has in terms of unction of communication. So I need a grace of Apostle Grace. I need an aspect of Joshua Selman. I need an aspect of Vusi Tembekwayo, because he has an aspect for corporate and the global narrative. I need an aspect of John C. Maxwell, because he's articulate and he's packaged himself in terms of knowledge. When you understand purpose, you'll even know how to pick templates. You'll know where to drink from, where to package yourself, how to dress up, how to position yourself. All these things will be key. And the earlier you understand your purpose, you'll not waste time on the wrong platforms. The question of purpose is so deep. But you must answer that question. Who have I been called to become? Who have I been called for? Where have I been called? Geographically. Where do I reach? Where do I not reach? At what point? How will I package my purpose? Some of you, in your purpose, you're not supposed to attract poor people. But some of you have been called for poor people. I'm telling you, there are people who have been called for the guys who are in the slums. Even how you look like can attract them. They greet you in town every day. Some of you have been called for children. Even right now, you just look childish. You're trying to be serious, but you just look childish. You just feel like laughing, and we're talking serious things. Some of you have been called for kings. The aura you carry. That's why some of the girls here, men fear you, because there's an aura you carry. If you've been called for kingship, there's an aura God will give you for attracting kings, and an aura for power. You must know, why do you look like that? Your face. Even you try to smile, it can't work. And while some of you try to be serious, it can't work, because you've been called for children. Your purpose is to do a buju buju with children. The question of purpose must be understood. Why does your body look like that? Brian, let's just stand. Look at the body of Brian. This body, whether you like it or not, it will persuade you. Everything. The Bible says that in Colossians chapter 2 verse 10, that God has made you complete in Christ. And then there's another scripture that says that everything that you have, God knew your orientation in terms of destiny. Even your height. When you answer the question of purpose, insecurities leave. You'll know why you are short. Because there's a place in life where they'll only choose short people. There's a place in life where they'll only choose people who have a light skin tone. There's a place in life they only want someone who has a pimple. That conversation will start by a pimple. Someone will tell you, I had this pimple like you. What do you do? And that's how the conversation will start. This is an interesting conversation. God bless you.
Sorry, maybe before you sit down, just one more thing. People would love to know how to introduce themselves. There's that conversation that we started. Now, in line with purpose, please tell us how to break our brand so that we can introduce ourselves. So that you cannot be so wordy, but you say the very important aspect in the very shortest time as possible. Yes.
I think in addition to what Faith has said, let's do a practical introduction, yeah?
So get me 3 people, randomly.
Amazing.
Just 3 people.
3 people. Show up, guys.
Thank you. We have 1.
Show up, guys.
We have 1, we have 2.
Thank you. This is my friend from here. He texted me on Instagram, and I'm happy to see him here. Nice one. So you can get them the microphone.
It's here.
Yes? You can have this. Introduce yourself. So you'll introduce yourself. Now, will you accept that you tell each other the truth? First, you have to agree. Yes? Because here we can get angry. But you're going to help each other, right? Okay. Let's clap for them first for coming. Or it's going to be very honest. So you'll introduce yourself. And I'll give you context, right? Imagine you're pitching to an investor. You're asking for $70 billion, right? And it's a food production company. So they need someone who can be able to execute a project in agriculture. Introduce yourself. And I want to have a timer, because you're supposed to introduce yourself in 40 seconds. I'll give you 1 minute. Now, these guys will vote, and then I'll give my feedback for each and every one of you. Right? We're going to do it practically. 70 billion. Right? Introduce yourself in 1 minute. And in your introduction, I need to see value. In your introduction, it needs to attract attention. And in your introduction, to some degree, I need to see the utmost creativity and proper articulation. And don't start by saying, my name is. So be creative. Go ahead. Just do your thing. You can start with a verse. My brother here wants to die. He's like, what brought me here? You will not die. You will not die. You will not die. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joshua Gawa. I'm a director of a company called Giovanni Global Limited. We currently we're doing quite a number of projects, and in the area of agriculture, we started a project that actually is reaching out to most of the communities in the country. We are training quite a number of farmers in coffee, and quite a number of materials that they need to fit to our company. And our aim is to get this coffee, fine it, and export it. We're currently right now, we're building a lot of structures around and importing machines to
Time
make
is
sure
up.
that everything is done.
Now your feedback. One, you need to be super fast. Work on your speed of speech. How do you work on your speed of speech? I'm going to make it very practical, right? Learn to cram numbers. When someone tells you their number, don't save it only. Master contacts. Like right now I have like 80 contacts I've mastered. All my employees have mastered their contact. So it unlocks that part of your mind for building the speed of speech. Number two, you're using the word quite. You're not sure. When you're introducing yourself, you don't use words like quite. You're playing small. We do quite a number of things. We try to do coffee. There are words you don't use, like trying, we could, we can. Use words that show surety. Three, you should be interesting. Don't speak like a human resource manager. The guys in HR are very boring. They are not interesting. They just talk plainly. Don't be basic. Someone say don't be basic. You're either sophisticated or to some degree you're either sweet. So like I need to, when you introduce yourself, I'm a director. You see the way teachers used to talk on parade? So that's how it sounds. I want you to sound a bit powerful. Right? My name is Walubengo. Like I want you to talk with power. Give him the microphone. Introduce yourself this way. Just say your name powerfully now. 3, 2, 1, go.
My name is Joshua Gaba.
Now say it with some ambience and some sweetness. Add some hormones and concoction. My name is Walubengo. It's a powerful thing. I'm telling you. If you just walk to someone and say, my name is Walubengo, just doing this, it's a powerful thing. I'm telling you. There is a power you need to walk with, right? You are a king. You're conscious of it. Let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Agaba Joshua.
No. My name is Agaba Joshua. Say it powerfully. Insist the Joshua. Go ahead. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Agaba Joshua.
No, not yet. My name is Agaba Joshua. Powerfully.
Agaba Joshua.
Congratulations. We are getting to it. Love it. Number 4, you've used the word we need. You don't go to an investor and say we need. Right? You use powerful words. For us to execute this project, yes, we need to partner, collaborate. I needed you to give global perspectives. You started pitching. You never introduced yourself. I just want you to introduce yourself, but you're still pitching, but you're introducing yourself. Let's go to the second person. 60 seconds. So speed of speech, you've mastered that. Then proper introduction in terms of power. How you say your name. Number 2, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm called Oliver Baluka. I'm a CPA and MBA and currently working with the United Nations under financial reporting. I am a founder of Kairos Investment Club, which has members that cut across various categories. And currently, we have an investment and a portfolio in agriculture. We as an investment club, we currently want to involve, unfortunately, I don't have an idea in agriculture. It's not my field.
Let's appreciate her. Now, we said know something about everything and everything about, so that's not an excuse. You should know, and actually write this down. There are 9 areas you need to master right now. Have knowledge in climate change. Have knowledge in agriculture. Have knowledge in tech. Have knowledge in governance. Have knowledge in fashion. Have knowledge in the auto industry. Have knowledge in aviation. Have knowledge in real estate. Have knowledge in nations and culture. then also have knowledge when it comes to things to do with beauty, modesty, and masculine concepts. Have knowledge in climate change, have knowledge in tech, have knowledge in agriculture, have knowledge in governance, have knowledge in fashion, have knowledge in real estate, nations and culture, have knowledge in terms of things to do with modesty, beauty, masculine and femininity concepts, all those conversations. And also have knowledge in terms of food. Tell me any Japanese cuisine.
Salmons.
You see, everyone is escaping. At least you know something. Let's appreciate her. So, your feedback. One, you've introduced yourself as an employee. You don't introduce yourself as an employee before investors because you've come as a founder. Number two, there's something called speech stuttering. How do you kill speech stuttering? Through content and competence. Because the more you have content, you cannot stutter. Anytime you do you are losing the attention of people. You are playing with your legs. You're doing this. My name is Olivia, and then you're doing this. I want you to learn to be bold, right? So, stand up in a way that shows you're powerful, right? And then put a powerful pose. I'll send you a video on the 72 corporate poses for women, because it's very key for you to know them. Then also the other thing, you began pitching. I had told you to introduce yourself. I just want you guys to introduce yourself in a way that it can attract attention. Don't pitch. So it means you guys should be better because you're the last ones. Then number 4, you began arguing with yourself on stage. Remember, we don't know what you're supposed to say. So you have the power that you know what you're supposed to say. So when you make a mistake, you don't begin saying, wait, whoa. Now what am I saying? So this is what you need to do. Anytime you ever find yourself in a situation where you're on stage talking to people and you've forgotten things, Brian, what should they do? Say a story. Just give a story. In Kenya, we have something called story cards that we give our clients. And every time I train a client, I ensure that they know at least 20 stories. Give a story. Give a story. That's why you need to master storytelling. Master short stories. Can I tell you one story that you can master? Can I? Give me some energy. Thank you. Congratulations. Let's do this. Mahatma Gandhi was traveling by train. As he was boarding this train, the train had begun moving and he was supposed to get in so quickly. So as he's boarding the train, one of his sandals fall down, and now he goes in the train. The train is moving. He has one sandal on the right, on the left foot, and this guy is confused. Should I go with one sandal, or should I just throw these sandals? And he decides to throw this one sandal that he's remaining with. He arrives at his destination barefoot and he's asked, "Where did your sandals go?" And they say, "While I was boarding the train, one of the sandals fell down, and now I did not know what to do. I decided to throw the other sandal so that whoever finds it doesn't find one but finds two." That story, it's on the power of vision. Can I tell you a second one? On forgiveness. 2 women were leaving. This lady is saying I should continue so that she buys time to gather courage.
I know.
I'm finishing up. There's a black lady who was living in Joburg in a white neighborhood, and every day there's a white lady who used to abuse her and throw feces at her farm. She did that for days. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into 6 years consistently. One day she disappeared, and this black lady wondered, where did this white lady go? So she went and asked the security guard, "Where is your boss?" The security guard said, "My boss is at the hospital. She has cancer." And the boss had been at the hospital for 6 months. So the security guard gave this black lady the address and told her, "Go to this hospital, ask for this lady." So she went to the hospital and asked, "Is this and this lady here and there?" They said, "Yes, go to this ward and visit her." When she showed up, she had some nice white rose flowers. The white lady began crying and asking her, why did you come after I treated you the way I treated you? And lastly, where did you get these flowers? From the supermarket? No. From the grocery? No. From the flower farms? No. She said, "I got them from the farm where I used to throw feces. These are the flowers that came out." That story says, when a wound leaves a scar, but a scar leaves a story that says I can survive. Learn to have those 2 short stories and powerful introductions. Have like 500 of them. It is possible. I'll send you an AI page where you start with a story. When you see you're confused, drop in a story. No one knows what you're supposed to say. So balance it. That's one of the ways to conquer anxiety. One of the ways to conquer anxiety is by competence. Because incompetence leads to insecurity. And insecurity leads to inadequacy. Yeah. Go ahead, my brother. 60 seconds. Okay. Okay.
All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Odonkara Gerard. I'm an experienced business developer, CEO and founder of the Africa Empowerment Project 7. And what we do, we are basically scaling up, helping young entrepreneurs to grow in the field of agricultural business. We're trying to establish a company. We're trying to establish companies here to help us cut the cost of exporting our products like coffee so that we can be able to manufacture and process them here in our country. We're also looking at empowering very many young entrepreneurs in the field of agriculture by teaching them new trends on climatic change and of course AI technology and how they can use it to grow and diversify our economy in agriculture.
You've done 45 seconds. Let's appreciate him. You began with power, but there's something you've done. You remember what I told you, that there are spaces where you don't over-impress. He said CEO and founder. It shows to some degree you've not defined who you are. Like if you say I'm a chairman and director. Have you seen how it is? Or if someone comes and introduce themselves and they say I'm an apostle and a bishop. How do you see it? You get it. So you just choose one. Founder or either CEO. Because if you put too many titles, it's a sign of insecurity. In corporate circles, if you give yourself 3 titles, you say I'm a director and I'm a chairman and I have 10 companies, people might not tell you, but it's a sign that you've not actually defined your identity. Then you said we are trying. Again, it's low-key timidity. Can we conquer that thing? We are not trying, we are doing. Right? You've spoken like a head boy. You see how a head boy used to speak on parade? Ladies and gentlemen, we have started a new week. Let us have maximum cooperation. So there's a way in which it came with so much power that you even surpassed the mark. I needed you to be calm because you already have a powerful demeanor. I want to say something so deep. When you have a powerful body now like Brian, me, you, learn to be easy. When your body looks like baby face, like let me use an example. You can stand, the lady inspects. Like when you look like a child, right? Be now very serious. Use complex terms. But when you already have a big body that shocks people, now be a bit easy. Yes? Use storytelling, use humor. That's why you heard me saying when I started, my speech will be as short as a miniskirt to attract attention, long enough to cover the essentials. Use easy jokes. There are jokes that are generational. Especially if you're talking before African men. There are jokes that they love. They love jokes around women. So study those people. And then use things like humor, right? So when you already have a serious demeanor and you have a powerful voice, learn to be easy. Use a lot of humor. Because already your voice is intimidating people and your body is intimidating people. Then when you are wearing spectacles and you look like a doll, now use complex terms. Be the serious person. And especially if you're a short person, use complex terms. Use long words to compensate for your height. Because you can't be short and you're short of words. One has to balance. Right? So, and then lastly, you also say it basically. You're not supposed to use words like basically. Use complex terms, right? Use words that are a bit sophisticated. For example, instead of saying we're in agriculture, we're helping young people, use the word helping, scaling up. Use words like we are applying SDG number 4, number 6, and 7. Now that draws back into competence. I'll ask you, how many SDG goals do you have? There are 17. Sharp. Let's appreciate this woman of God. If you have been looking for someone who you can work with, this is someone to work with. So you say SDG goals number 4, number 6, and number 7. It shows someone that you've studied. The Bible says in 2 Timothy 4:15, study to show yourself approved as a perfect workmanship. So there are 4 things I always tell my clients to know. Know the SDG goals, know the global structure, at the same time, know the culture of different nations, and then know what is happening, the new knowledge. If I ask you what happened last week in the UK, those are things you should know. Who is the Secretary General of the African Union? The Secretary General of... You can add it into your introduction, like the SDG goals, complex terms, global perspectives. It makes your introduction spicy. I hope you are learning. Yes? We're using their mistakes to learn. Let's appreciate them. Last person.
Good evening, everyone. Close to about 600 million Africans do not have access to power. And in the conversation of energy, it has been discussed profoundly, SDG number 7, that emphasizes the need to access energy and power for all. It talks about affordability and reliability. My name is Afsa Karunji Agape, and I do have an expertise in energy, solar energy and renewable energy. Our company, Rudy Solar, we have pitched and done various projects in trying to address this cause across the African globe and Uganda as the starting point. That's what I have to say.
Let's appreciate her. Now, did she catch your attention? Do you know why she caught your attention? Someone say SDA. Say it powerfully. SDA. SDA means this: story, data and statistics, analogies. Never forget that. That's called a speech diet. That anytime you're talking to people, there must be a story, there must be data and statistics, then a powerful analogy. What's an analogy? For example, if I tell you, one nail can employ 50,000 people. It takes 20,000 miners to mine steel. It takes more than 5,000 women to cook for them food. They'll take their kids to school. More than 12,000 teachers will be employed. There is a banker. There is a boda. There are those women who sell veggies. That's how one nail employs an ecosystem of 50,000 people. What about you? That's an analogy. So she began by data and statistics. Numbers are very key in communication. And then she sounded like she was sure of what she was saying until she told us that that's what I had to say. So he did not know. But anytime you start a conversation with data and statistics, there is something it does. Like, do you know the statistics of this country? Like yesterday when I came, my whole team were doing research for the last 3 days. We have the accurate statistics of Uganda. In Uganda, 77% of the population is under the age of 25. The literacy levels for men, it's higher. It's at 80%. 80% of the Ugandan youth live in the rural area. Why are those things important? Just in case you meet the president in the elevator and you need to pitch up a proposal, where do you start from? Data and statistics. Second thing, she was very fluent and articulate in terms of language and speed of speech, right? Where she now messed up, there are 6 types of anxiety, because I need you to know the anxiety you have. There is social anxiety, intellectual anxiety, generational anxiety, situational anxiety, and which one? Emotional anxiety and environmental anxiety. Social anxiety is the one that you have when meeting people and you are afraid, you panic, you even forget. I'm sure she had all that she was supposed to say, but you can even forget. Even what Amanda had. Amanda walked here powerfully. Then she got on stage and said, like, she prayed for us. She said scriptures can be projected. Then she said, wow. That is social anxiety. The second one we have is intellectual anxiety. Why you speak and you feel like you're not making sense. People are like, wow, but you're like, I am almost finishing all the content I had. I have said SDG. What next? That's intellectual. The third one is generational anxiety. It comes from family. If your father was timid and your mother was timid and they raised you, probability of you being timid is also the same. In the Bible, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob lied the same lie, that my wife is my sister. So generational anxiety can be passed across generations. The fourth one is emotional anxiety. It's the anxiety you have when something has just happened to you. For example, you're called right now and you're told your child is sick and you're supposed to come on stage and speak. Already your emotions are a bit triggered. Then the fifth one is situational anxiety. The anxiety you have when you are around very gifted people. Like right now you have situational anxiety. Because you feel the people listening to me are intelligent. I have already made a mistake. Benny has seen 5 mistakes. Look at how I'm standing. That's situational. The other one is environmental anxiety. If you're in an environment where you're bullied, an environment that's toxic, where you're mistreated, it creates environmental anxiety. All these kinds of anxiety are very key and you must study them. I've written a book called From Anxiety to Unction. And in that book I've written how all these forms of anxiety can be approached and how you can be able to heal from each of them. How do you fix intellectual anxiety? By reading more information. I always tell people, don't deliver, over deliver. How do you fix social anxiety? By staying around confident people consistently. Because Shakespeare says, you don't fix a flower by fixing the flower itself. You fix the environment of the flower and the flower will be fixed. Then how do you fix situational anxiety by being not intimidated by greatness. Make greatness common to you. Now, I'm not saying be familiar to greatness, but I'm saying begin to play things like golf. Begin to be in spaces where these people are there and be used to that language. It will do something to you. Yes.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Please clap for them as they go and have their seat.
How do I scale in my business? And after I scale, how do I keep afloat? Okay, let me rephrase it. For like Mr. Brian, he told us that at 27, he regained the wealth that he lost back to millionaire and now maybe a billionaire in dollars. So how has he kept afloat since 27? Because he's not 27 anymore, you know. And there's a point when he started, he scaled, and after he scaled, he now has the wisdom to keep afloat. Then also for you, as a public speaker, how are you able to keep these networks around you, not failing any, because there's also wisdom in keeping a king around you, you know. So the conversation of scaling, and then after scaling, keeping afloat.
So I'll answer in the context of public speaking. Because to be honest, I am not a businessman. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not attuned to business like the way Brian is. I'm more of a public speaker. I don't even love staying at the office, running structures. I don't like that thing. I'm not more into business, I'm more into oratory. Brian now is more into business, dangerously. Even right now he's looking at you, he's seeing sales across. That's Brian. So allow me to answer from an angle of public speaking. How do I scale up relationships? Does that make sense? How do I keep relationships? And how do I manage the ones that I have? Paul says, I have run the race and I have kept the faith. So that means that there is an art of running and keeping. And many people don't know how to run and keep. Right? How do I maintain the relationships I have? I have a list of the currencies I have as Benny. And I ask myself, which currency is this person coming for? And I want you to go and write, or even just do it right now. Write for me the 5 currencies that you have. 5. And don't write money. What do you have that makes you valuable? Ask yourself, why do people look for me? Write for me 5. Whoever finishes first, lift up your hand. People are angry. Just ask yourself, you know. In these sessions, man, I always ask very hard questions. I'm very sorry, man. I want you to write all the currencies. For example, what she has said, information can be a currency. How do you know you have information? People ask you a lot of questions. Influence can be a currency. How do you know you have influence? People tell you, advertise my product. Number 3, you can also be, your currency can be excellence. Like you heard Brian saying, he trusted Keith to drive me around because he knows Keith will handle me a certain way. So excellence is a currency. Humor can be a currency. Why do people come in your house? For some of you, you're funny. It's not that you have money, but you're just funny. A story is said about 2 men. One had appetite, but he did not have food. One had food, but he did not have appetite. The one who did not have appetite had stories. As the one who had appetite, did not have food, went and met the guy who had food but no appetite. Told him a story and the guy had appetite. Then he gave him food. So for some of you, it's humor. Some of you, it's your style. You're just beautiful. People know that if they go with you somewhere, they'll not lack a seat. They just know you look good. It's a currency. Write it. So write the currency. Some of it is height. People trusted in you in school. You are made a prefect because you are tall. It's a currency. Some of you are fast. Some of you are persuasive. Write all the currencies. So now after writing my currencies, I ask myself, why did Brian approach me? I need to keep increasing that currency. You've understood? So you increase currency according to what people came for. So if you discover the currency that people are checking in my life, now you choose the top 3. For example, as Benny, my currencies are 3. 1 is that I bring new knowledge. And I say it differently. It's a currency. 2 is influence. 3, I am bold and swift. These 3 currencies are my top 3. I maintain them and increase them consistently. Right? How do I maintain new knowledge? By releasing new books consistently and curriculums. Every day you meet me, there is something new I'm doing. I'm not doing what I did yesterday. So forgetting the victories of yesterday and focusing on tomorrow. Because men will never clap for you for the same thing twice. So that's it. So for me, that's what I do. And how do I maintain them? Very basic things. On my phone, I have something called a networking list. So in this networking list, I've written the top 25 people who are in my top priority of relationships. How do I vet these people? I look at 3 measurements. 1, the value they contribute in my life and destiny. Number 2, how authentic and vulnerable they are with me. And number 3, how solid or structured they are in terms of family, their spiritual life, and keeping their word. With that said, I'm able to highlight Daktari. These are the top 25 guys. So these top 25 guys, my goal is not to create many other new relationships. It's to maintain it. I celebrate them on their birthdays. I celebrate them on their anniversaries. I know the names of their children. So it draws back to intentionality. Now you cannot do that if you're wounded, because you'll forget. Does that make sense? So that's how I'm able to maintain. The other way of also maintaining relationships is always have consistent growth. That how I met you, Keith, last week is not how I should meet you next week. The first time Brian reached out because of what I'm doing with I Speak. But right now we are talking about Bible Meets Business in the UAE. We are doing something in Kenya. We are gathering 7,000 young people in October. 7,000. This is something to clap. You guys are looking at me. In May you'll be in the UAE. The one for America, I've brought Brian 10 people from Kenya who will be going to the US to attend of Bible Meets Business in America. So what am I talking about? Increase your value. That when I meet you right now, Keith, keep on increasing your value. And I'm going to use you an example. I know I'm putting you in trouble with your fellow employees that you work with, but whoever has high self-esteem will not be intimidated. This guy came as a protocol to Brian in Nairobi and a videographer, coordinating tickets. We came back, he became a driver. Now he's moderating. He's a template. He's a template. Whether Brian likes it or not, he will call Keith at some point during the day. He can't live without Keith. And now this one should not puff you up. I'm helping you. That Brian in his life, there's a way in which Keith is assisting. He has placed himself at the center. He can moderate, he can talk, he can record a reel, he can negotiate on his behalf. Be so valuable that you cannot be ignored. Be so valuable. Be so valuable. Increase in value. Increase in value. Read more books. Forget whatever made people clap for you yesterday. Build the new. Because in comedy we say, your next joke should be better than your last joke.
Wow, a round of applause. So, Mr. Brian, this question also goes to you in the business aspect. Scaling, keeping afloat. Because you're one of the templates that we're looking at for the very many years, you know. Concept Real Estate is a success. We have had the Kickstarter conferences. Now we are into Bible Meets Business and a lot of the different projects. You have a whole conglomerate under your name and the wife. How do you manage to scale, and how do you keep afloat all this while?
Because I don't take on the responsibility just by myself. If I speak in this room, I can give one example, like CMR. Who leads it? If you can stand up. Marvin leads it. He will teach you anything regarding to debt management, quantitative survey. Anything. We do it for every individual and each company. I just go there once a week. So I've learned to empower people with speed. And he knows we hire, we fire quick. So if I had you yesterday and you start dilly-dallying the work, tomorrow we don't see you. Swiftly. Because if you don't know that, we don't get attached. We have to make sure that you follow the mandate which is being opposed on you. If you cannot fulfill that, then what is the purpose? There will not be purpose for you to grow with us. If I go to Concept Real Estate, who heads it? You can stand up. Bobby heads Concept Real Estate. If he knows the deal is not good, even if you bring it, some guys here in the room, one of my brother over there, brings for me deals. What did I tell you, my brother? Where is he? He left. He's not here? Yes. He brings for me deals. What did I tell you? Who are you supposed to talk to when you bring for me deals? Bobby. Because he knows the process. He knows what he's supposed to do before even it gets to my table. I don't have to see 100 deals. I just have to see 5 deals. And those are the deals which are passed through the process, which are being qualified. But for you, everyone comes and gives you information overload, which is not purposeful for you. You want to buy a property and you see 100 properties. You don't have a filter for those 100 properties. You have not built the capacity system to see those 100 properties. You don't know even how you vet those properties. You are just looking at properties. You are just excited. Wow, this one looks good. Wow, I met that lady. Wow, that gentleman was 100 property. No, that is information overload. I need to know with people with purpose, with people with influence. You get what I'm saying? The other thing, know the key players in the market which you're in. For you, you just know just the gatekeepers, but you don't know who has the authority and the gatekeeper. It is important. Face the person who is in charge. And how do you get into those doors? Build a good relationship, as they are taught, with the gatekeeper. Let me tell you, that Scully knows the owner of this hotel. What time he comes here, when he leaves, what he does here, and how he does it. If you want to know the secrets of this place, you go to the gatekeeper. And when you reach the person who is in control of this place, how do you identify yourself with them? Again, don't come with needs. People in places of influence, if you want to be taken to another level, because when you own a business or when you are in business, you're going to get to a level where you should not compete, you are just dominating. And in domination, you get to with key players. And those key players need to see value in you. So that instead of competing with you, they associate with you. You see, me and my brother here, we have been discussing. We are going to become a voice in Africa. Not just because Brian is from Uganda, he has to speak to the Ugandan people. No. The Uganda market is too small. $45 billion. Kenya market is how big? It's $148 billion. So if you get to the global market of Africa, it is around 3 trillion. I was saying we need to become a voice in Africa so that we can take over Asia, so that we can take over Europe, so that we can take over America. I now have mastered the American way of doing business. But by just mastering that, that does not make me a powerhouse. That is just a beginning. So I need to know if I'm going to become a voice in this global market. As I said, no one is my life with no purpose. Everyone who is my life always, they reach a time and ask themselves, what is my purpose in this person's life? Oh, sometimes it is a season. They vanish. Because at the speed which we are growing on, or at the speed, the way we do things, you cannot sustain yourself there if you don't have purpose. Because I will not have a conversation with you. I will just ignore you. Because at any point when I'm consuming information, there has to be something different which I'm hearing from you. If I had from you the same conversation yesterday, tomorrow I will not have a conversation with you. My team knows that. For you, you have the same person tells you the same story which they told you last year, yesterday, today. And you ask yourself, why are you not progressing? Because the people who are around you do not consume information. Let me tell you, it's an example. When people finish university, it is such that the biggest people you can ever find in life, you can find in this room that most people who have read most books, they have read one book. And they would die when they've just only read one book. But I can become an expert in so many industries. In the past 10 years, I've become an expert in different industries. If you ask me about marketing strategies, I've mastered that. If you can ask me in real estate, I've mastered that. I've invested in myself, meeting the greatest people in life, like the Grant Cardones. All these people who have invested themselves in learning the craft of real estate globally. So you come into the market, you want to be the biggest guy in real estate in Uganda, but you have never met the guy who founded the real estate system here in Uganda. And even you don't have a solution how to fix the problems in Uganda, but you want to be the greatest. I've mastered business structuring. I can enter into any business and I can change it in just 2 weeks. For you, can you enter into a system and change it? Or you are just going to enter into a system and just look at it and say, okay, this is what is failing. What are the patterns you have learned that when you enter into the business, you know the right people to hire, the right people to fire? If I want to change an institute or a business when I enter into it, you know the first person I fire? The CEO. You know the second person I fire? The operations manager. Ask me why. Because those are the people who control everyone who was hired in that system. And the moment I hire again, I'll hire the CEO, and the CEO is going to hire an operations manager. Ask me why. Why am I not hiring an operations manager first? Because the CEO has to hire someone who aligns with the vision which you have been given. But you come into the business, you hire the operations manager. You know some founders do it like this. They come, they say, I want to get, let me give you an example of a restaurant. I'm a founder of a restaurant, I own a restaurant. Instead of hiring a manager, I'm going to hire a server first. Instead of hiring a manager who will know how to work with the server they are bringing in, because they will identify the key patterns, how this person will rate to them when they are communicating. They will know even the things which this person are weak at, and they can help them to improve them. Hiring the right key patterns. I don't start a business and I start hiring an operations manager when I don't have a CEO to head. You operate a business, but in that business, you don't have accountability. Most founders of you, most of you, if I can say, who knows how to read the balance sheet in this room? By show of hands, guys. Guys, don't be shy. By show of hands, who knows how to read the balance sheet? Let me tell you something. In life we live on a balance sheet, but we never really realize that. Can I tell you how you live on a balance sheet? You have expenses, you have income. Not so? Everyone knows their income. Not so? Let me give you a quick example, because I don't want you to lose this in life. Because you're going to enter into conversations. All of you are here today to become great entrepreneurs. You can never become a great entrepreneur if you don't know how to read a balance sheet, a profit and loss. At one point you're going to fail. You're going to be dealing because you go. I have my sister of mine, she does trading. We were sharing the other time at church. And she was talking about how she trades from China, going back and forth and all that. But one of my questions to her, how do you scale your credit with the Chinese? The first way she can scale her credit with the Chinese, you know how she has to do that? She has to provide to them her income statement. Because if they don't say an income statement, they cannot trust her process. Because are they borrowing her on what? In what position are they borrowing her? What position are they trusting her? Because that is the face of the business. The income, the expenses. They want to see her habits, how they share. With my experience, I thank God, I worked in banking for 2 years. But in banking, you get to learn the habits of someone according to their balance sheet. If you want to know your lifestyle, look at your balance sheet. You look at your bank statement. Get a chance, please, everyone, tomorrow, print out your mobile money statement or your bank statement, and you see in the past 3 months how your life has been transformed. You look at it and you know, okay, have you ever been spending, or have you been spending with purpose, or you have been spending with prestige? These are important aspects. I know I am running so fast randomly, but I am believing in you that take just among the 3 things which I've said, just take 2. Print out your bank statement today, tomorrow. For the past 90 days, look at how your life has been and what you have to do to change that. Let me give you one nugget to help you on that. Have a limit of how much you spend in a day. Most of you, because you have money on the bank account, you can continue spending every day. If I spend 5 million, even if anyone comes and tells me we have to spend more, I'll tell them we'll pay that person tomorrow. Because I learned the first time when I lost resources, because every time I was spending because I thought it will keep on getting inside. You imagine, there's a video which was done. You imagine how you make money and how money goes out. You take 30 days, they pay you, the money goes onto their bank account. It takes a second to go to Javas, and the money goes where? To Mandela. You get what I'm saying? You see how quick Mandela makes money? How quick do you make money? You don't make it like Mandela. So ask yourself, you cannot compare yourself to Mandela if you are not bringing money the way Mandela brings in money. So you need to learn your patterns. How are you bringing in money? How does your money go out? So if you know you're earning on 30 days, make sure your payables are done after 45 days. You need to convince the people who you spend money to pay them in 45 days, because your money comes in 30 days. If you earn every week, then you can pay every 2 weeks. You need to understand those patterns, guys, and have a limit. If it's 5,000 a day, that is it. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brad and Mr. Benny. We are going to, we only have 2 questions to close our panel. It is getting sweet, but we have to close. And also, most importantly, on the 19th of April, that is this coming month, we have the Bible Meets Business Conference in Dallas, Texas. Yes, for those of you that clap for that. The confirmed speakers for Bible Meets Business Dallas, that is Apostle Grace Rubega. Let's clap for that. We also have Dr. David Molapo from South Africa. And of course, the main man himself, the vision bearer, Mr. Brian Kayongo and the wife Lois. But the movement still goes on. And in Dubai, we'll be in Dubai in August, then the entire UAE, that will be in 23rd of August. So guard your loins, be prepared. We understand that for America, could be have some complications here and there, but for Dubai, make sure you prepare yourself. We want to see how we can network and scale our businesses to the people there, because when we had our recent trip in Nairobi, by the way, Benny, it's when we came to realize that you can open up a business in Uganda, but solve problems in Kenya. It's not only for Uganda. So why do we have these conferences in different countries, that you may also scale your business? Maybe you do shirt printing, maybe like Pispa. They're doing good in Uganda, and I'm quite sure they will scale in countries like Dubai. So we also have that. And then we'll be in Nairobi in November. Yes, we'll be in Nairobi in November. Bible Meets Business will be there in October for the conference of Benny, and then the conference Bible Meets Business will be in Nairobi, November. So one of the last questions is, how do I know my mentor, and then how do I access them? For our mentors that are online, Brian, you talked of Grant Cardone. You can access him, but let's look at someone in Kikubo down street that can't access Vusi like you can, Maybe you sent him a voice note and he responded to yours because you're also doing some great work in Kenya. But what about someone that is not even on WhatsApp, but they hear of a Brian Kayongo, someone that is not, as connected, but they hear of a Benny in doing marvelous things in Kenya? How do they, first of all, identify a mentor, but secondly, also, how could they approach them? In a minute.
Okay, I want to answer with the shortest seconds possible. I've not eaten, because when I'm coming to speak, I don't eat. So right now, it's when I just realize my sugar levels are low. And Brian is giving wisdom. I'll answer this way. 1, never reach out to anyone and tell them, mentor me. Don't use that word. You can say mentor me, but don't say it that way. They will not mentor you. They'll just tell you, wow, keep doing a good job. Then they blue tick you after that. I'm telling you. I've been in that business for a long time, where I was reaching out to people and telling them mentor me. So there is a way you reach out. Can I teach you? Sit upright, I'm also hungry. Give me some energy. 1, Proverbs 19 verse 6, give. Now giving, I don't mean just coming and giving money. You can buy a book. Always have a point of introduction. Or you can buy a program. Or you can buy a ticket for an event. You see, like right now, whether I like it or not, even if I'm feeling hungry, some of you are going to talk to me and you've already planned how you'll do it, whether I like it or not. And you'll ensure that you get the number. I've even maybe followed you on Instagram. Like some of you have already taken a picture Now another hack I'll teach you, but don't use it maybe for us. Don't use it here, use it elsewhere. When people are speaking on stage and you want to approach someone, take a video of them, post it on your story and tag them. They'll repost, then DM them. You've gotten that? Like take a video, a reel, post it on your story that you're at that event, tag them. Then as you're tagging them, as they repost, DM them immediately, because Instagram has given you access to DM them. Has that made sense? Have you understood that? Because you guys, it seems like you've not understood me on that. Or you want us to talk about Facebook. So that's one of the ways. Find a point of contact that you can be able to get access. Either it can be a ticket, it can be buying a book, it can be buying a program. And then also, comment consistently on what these people are doing. I know, I have sat with the most busy people in this world. They check their phones. They check. They know who comments most. Like right now, when you check Bible Meets business page, the people who have commented on Brian's pictures are like 18. Brian is a disruptor. You can't tell me he won't check those 18 people. He will check. He might not DM you, but he's checking. Like it took Brian 5 months to respond to my DM, but he used to see my story every day. Every day before he sleeps. Even right now when he opens his Instagram, I am the first person there. So these great people sometimes, the reason they don't respond is because they feel you'll be too familiar. So if they give you easy access, you'll not handle it seriously. Like I can tell you, the people I gave my contact Amanda have never called. So to some degree I always feel, instead of giving you my number, let me give you the number of my assistant. My assistant will make your life a bit hard. So the day you get my contact, you'll take me seriously. We'll have a serious conversations. So that you don't call me to tell me you're just saying hi. That I'm leaving a meeting and then you tell me you're just greeting you. So before I measure the seriousness, I'll tell you follow the structure. But after some time, I will take you off the structure depending on your growth. Am I helping you? I'm being very real with you. This is how these people think. I don't want to them drop, but there are a number of great people that I associate with that I've had to meet them like 3 times. So this is another very deep mystery. The first time you meet a person, just take their number, but don't be pushy, and ensure they save your number before you go. Never give a business card to someone who is above you. They will not call you. They'll throw it in the dustbin. I've gone to offices of CEOs and the business cards are many than any other thing. In the garbage, in the dustbin. So never give anyone your business card. Tell this person, Brian, call me right now. Let me save your number. Let him save your number, even if you won't talk. Then, work out a way where this person will meet you the second time. The second time they are meeting you, have results of the first meeting. You've understood? It can even be in 2 weeks. But have results. Like, let the introduction not be the same as it was before. Then, by the time you're meeting them, create a value system that suits their vision. So, I interviewed Apostle in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. But I had watched 400 of his videos for a 2 minutes interview. Because I needed to pick small details that are not necessary. Because how do we define excellence? Excellence is adding unnecessary details. Can we repeat that together? Excellence is adding unnecessary details. For example, look at this suit. What makes my suit excellent? This thing. Nothing else. Just this thing. A very mediocre thing. A very small buckle. This is what made the price of this suit to change from a normal double breast button suit. Excellence is adding unnecessary details. Look at this banner. Look at this suit for Brian. The watch, the ring, the shoes. He's made sure that he's played with a number of things. That's what is excellent. So when you reach out to these people, never tell them mentor me. It will not work. What do? Create a value system and then reach out in a strategic way. The second way, let someone introduce you is in their space. It's much easier when someone endorses you is already in that space. And how does that work? Build credibility that can attract a certain circle of people. Now these are again a whole masterclass. That's why I want to summarize that question. Because it's a very deep question. Number 3. Be teachable and learn how to respond in a way that can make someone pour into you. Like right now you guys are not so aggressive. So I cannot tell you 5 things. I'm going to tell you 3 things. Because there's a way in which you're looking at me. Like you're also hungry, and I'm also hungry. So both of us are hungry. So learn when you're talking to someone and you want them to be your mentor. If they say one thing, say, wow, amazing. Take a book, write. It gives them psych. They'll want to tell you more. If it's a phone call, be like, oh my God, that's so deep. Proverbs 25 verse 11 says, let your words be like apples of gold in settings of silver. Learn how to respond in a way that can give people more energy to want to teach you. I had a mentor who used to say things that were not so deep, but I would be like, guy. My God. And I would call him even in the evening and be like, oh, that was deep wisdom, profound. Because you need to know what kings like. And kings like feedback. Kings like feedback. You go and check. That person who writes in the WhatsApp group of the boss, noted, will never be given a promotion. They will never be given a promotion. But there's that person who says, boss, that was great. This is what we needed. You're the big boss. That person will be promoted their whole life. Learn to give energy in terms of mentorship. Extreme energy. You share what these people are doing. And then the other art also is by prayer. Also you can pray. You can pray and actually meet a person. I've ever prayed Daktari and I met someone in an elevator. And I was just me and them. And I told them, today I found you. It is me and you. We are going up to 18th floor. Whether you like it or not, we will talk. You can pray. So one of the things I do, I write names of the people I want to meet. Like I wrote the names of all the people I wanted to meet. And actually you're one of them. So I write the names of people. I ask God every year, who are the people, who are the 20 people you want me to meet? Like, there's a time I met everyone. I met PLO, I met Vusi, everyone I wanted to meet. Now in my list for this year, I'm remaining just with 5 people. I've met almost the 5 I wanted to meet at first. So I have like 5 more. So what do? I pray. And then what do? I study them. Write this. Study people, study books, study patterns, study culture, study systems. Let me repeat. Study people, study books, study cultures, study patterns, study systems. Don't just study books only. Study people. Study people so much. Go to the first post of Brian on Instagram. First post. When he was not the way he is, not so composed. Go and check the first video. Then study him step by step. So the day you reach out to this person, you've already studied them enough. You know even how to approach them. I hope that is my last question. My parting shot for today. Everything that you have said. Yes? Everything that you have said. Go and teach. Steve Bartlett said, if you want to know, read. If you want to understand, write. But if you want to master, teach. Can I repeat? Give me some energy. If you want to know, read. If you want to understand, write. If you want to master,
Teach.
if all those things will tell you and you keep it to yourself, it will not help you. Yes. Even you go and wear a suit, right? Next week and look for a group of young people. Tell them today I want to tell you 5 things in public speaking. It's SDA. Yes. And make sure that you talk confident. I'm not there. So they will say you're wise. And then if they ask you, where did you get all this wisdom? You just say, it's Jesus. Jesus has been speaking to me the whole night. Go and teach. You're laughing, I'm telling you. Go and teach. If you want to master all the things you said, teach. Then, all the things you said, you might think you know, but you don't actually know. Go and rewatch that video. Like right now, I'm seeing 300 people are online. We have 350 people who've joined us. Let's clap for them. Go and sit down. Rewatch this video again and again and again. And then meditate on those things. And then become. The next time we meet, because you're opening an office in Uganda, I Speak Academy Uganda. So you have I Speak Academy in Uganda. We have Africa it's called Watch Africa Studios, right? Watch Africa Studios in Kenya. So it's a collaboration. So every month we'll be having a masterclass in Uganda for public speaking. Every month. And we'll be coming under Bible Meets Business. So you'll be having Bible Meets Business East Africa. It's under the East African wing. So you're gathering Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda in Uganda. And just to have conversations. And then later on we have another conference in November in Kenya, gathering thousands of young people. These are conversations that we've started. And my belief is that whatever we started today is just an ocean in the drop of what you're supposed to do. It's time to gather culture shapers. People will get into some of these strategic spaces and start conversations. And I want to ask, one day you come with your children. I want us to do a conference for children for public speaking. Because there's a way children also need to express themselves. So we'll have a lot of radical conversations around mindset. We should have a conversation around healing. We should have a conversation around redefinition of purpose. And we're not here as motivational speakers. We've not come here to motivate anyone. You're already motivated enough. We've come here to equip, challenge, and educate. So thank you so much, even for coming today. We appreciate you. For us, we thought we were doing something for 30 people. Yes. We did not know that all these people, hundreds of people, will actually turn up. We wanted just to do something for 30 people, and we are done. Even in Kenya, we were expecting 20 people, but 80 people turned up. Young founders, and even millennials, baby boomers. And we expect to do the same thing in the UAE. Currently, our masterclass already has 60 people in the UAE, in Dubai. And we announced yesterday. So we believe that there is a lot to be done. So thank you so much for listening. May God bless you. We look forward to partnering more. Thank you, Brian, for this access. And I want to appreciate Apostle Grace for that interview, because that interview is what triggered this. And I believe that we are building a community. And who knows, maybe one day we'll come at the Fanero grounds and teach people public speaking. It's possible. God bless you.
Amazing.